I resolved earlier today to make a video for my channel, Wilderness Runner, and it did not go as I had envisioned it. I just drove randomly into the California wilderness without looking up a reasonable or logical place to go. Finally, I plugged in trails and followed Google's directions to the nearest trail. There wasn't even really a trail there. I was already cursing out Google before I fell on the rock that didn't even look slippery. But just being in the woods, even after I fell, I almost just kind of laughed at myself, and I started thinking, this is just about being in the woods. It doesn't matter where I am, doesn't matter how it looks, doesn't matter how the trail is, doesn't matter if there is a trail or not. And at this point, it was looking like there might not really be. That moment when I ducked under the branch was kind of a beautiful moment, because all of a sudden the sun was in the shot, and I just thought, wow, there is actually something really beautiful ahead. And of course, there always is when you go out into the woods. It turned out there was a trail after all. I just hadn't pulled up quite to it. And now it almost was wider of a trail than I had envisioned or wanted. But at this point, it didn't really matter to me. I was here to do what I was here to do, which was to run. Every single little thing seemed to slow me down so much more than it should. My expectation was to jump cleanly over things like this, but it felt like even clambering over it took longer than it should have. But again, here I am. I'm in the woods. I'm running. It's a beautiful day. I'm breathing deeper, and I'm experiencing nature. One of the challenges of wilderness running is making decisions quickly. Which way am I going to go? Am I going to go over it, around it, under it, through it? Am I ducking? Am I dodging? And it felt like, besides my body feeling very heavy and slow, my decision making was slow. I stopped. I looked around. I decided what to do when I felt like I should just be running continuously, jumping, leaping, and making split-second decisions. Finally, I got to what I assumed was the destination of this trail. It was called a waterfall trail, and this is more like just the same kind of rapids that were along the entire river, so maybe this wasn't actually what was supposed to be the destination. Because I had slipped earlier, or maybe just because of how I was feeling, I was scared to make even this small jump, figuring the log would be slippery. It wasn't bad once I made it. I decided to get a shot of myself running up this hill, but the shot was so bad I didn't even use it. On the way down, I still felt so slow, even though I'd already practiced this once. I got another shot on the way up, and by now I was feeling just a little bit faster, a little bit more able to make decisions, but it still felt like every little briar was getting in my way, and I couldn't figure out quickly how to go around or over it cleanly or smoothly. Obviously, I didn't run far past the camera, and this is when I picked it up and just had a candid conversation. This is so bad. I feel like it's basically pointless to try to work up to anything, because if this is my starting point, the concerns are I've had COVID. I know that there are at least some lasting effects
it's hard to say how much of just kind of my slowness and tiredness in running can actually be attributed to that, and how much just because I haven't done it. But I do know that, you know, COVID changed my body in ways that have lasted permanently. I know that because my sense of smell is has changed. I know that my blood pressure and heart rate and other things related to the circulatory system were drastically different when I had COVID and even afterwards, but I haven't measured that lately. So it's just one of those fears that gets in the back of your mind, and you wonder, like, you know, did this thing change me forever? Which it may have. But I won't really know if and how much unless I try. That was like a couple of years ago, by the way. And the other thing is I'm just getting older, so you know, it's easy for me to imagine that my energy is the same as it always was, because most of the time I feel the same as I always have, you know, since I was a teenager or a kid. But then in those moments when I exert myself, then I feel the difference. I realize that, you know, running at an idle, you're not going to notice the misfire in the engine. And obviously, like, I'm in my mid-30s, and a lot of people stay active. In fact, even there are people who are winning long distance races like ultra marathons into their 40s, their late 40s. So, you know, I think my big struggle right now is just against the idea of inevitability, and the fear, like the very real fear of diminishing rewards, right? Like, I'm gonna put the same amount of work in, maybe I'm gonna put even more in than I did when I was in my 20s, and the results I'm gonna get may not even be as good. But I don't know that. It's just a fear. It may turn out to be a real fear, and then the question I have to ask myself is, but is it still worth it? Do I still get something out of this? Do I feel better than I would if I wasn't doing it? Because I'm gonna be in my mid-40s at some point, and etc. and so on, whether I exercise or not. So the real question is, if I'm gonna be there anyways, is this part of what I want to take with me on that journey? And you know, as I'm asking that question as a rhetorical question, I'm hearing the answer in my head already, because it's a pretty obvious answer. So anyways, welcome to Wilderness Runner. This is the end of a very candid video, and maybe the first actual video I've made for this channel, because I realized that I would like to provide some real content, not just some fake, you know, shorts. Anybody can run for 30 seconds in a beautiful setting and post it on the internet. I want to provide something a little bit genuine, candid, meaningful, hopefully to someone beyond me. So if you've watched this video, thank you, and go get out there, go for a short run if that's something that you want to do today. Doesn't have to be in the wilderness. I've done a lot of runs where I just got out on the sidewalk wherever I was living at the time and went for a run. And you know, it's always stayed a goal to spend more time in the wilderness in general. And I realized today I'm the only one holding me back from that. I'm probably one of the busiest people I know. Most people I know say that I'm about the busiest person they know. And in most settings, I'm never more than 20 minutes away from, or much less, from some sort of natural environment, or at least an interesting environment. I've run through the middle of cities before when that's where I was. And I think part of the key is just that it's about the mindset. Like, I am exploring something unique, whether it's a forest in California or it's the middle of New York City. Like, let's go see what it's got. So, all right, again, thank you for watching. Go for a run or do whatever it is. Sorry, I apologize. That is something that I feel obligated to say because I want my videos to be meaningful. But, you know, I don't like people telling me what to do, even when it's well meant. So I guess I'll just say thank you for watching.
I got a little bit lost on the way back. After a while, I realized I had definitely gone past the point where my little cutoff ran down to the trail. But before long, I had found my way back. And at this point, I wasn't even pretending that I was running at all. The point for me is that I did get outside. I got into the woods. I ran a little bit. I walked some. And both of those are good things. To me, wilderness runner is about wilderness first and runner second. Seems like it's just coincidence that it's in that order, but maybe it's not.